Hello everybody, SirMonkeySuit here, back again. We are on Haikyuu again, episode 6. So yeah, in the last couple of episodes we had the kind of, the sort of practice match thing with 3v3, to see what all of the first years were about. And yeah, we have some really good team bonding kind of between Kageyama and Shoyo right now. I stated that Kageyama is the interesting one, the character for me at this moment. That being said, I'm interested to see how Tsukishima actually progresses and actually develops, because right now he seems, you know what I mean, a bit on the on the outskirts. He's not really into the idea fully of being serious about volleyball. Although there was a bit of a serious moment in the last episode, so you know, we'll see how his character develops, but I'm interested to see how his character develops, because I think he's probably prone to having the most development right now. So we'll see how that plays out. They are about to go up against Iowa Josai, which is it's going to be the first year's debut match, and because of this, Hinata Oshoyo is quite nervous before the match. Now, I said in the last video, I think it's just pre-match nerves. I don't think this will affect him at all during the actual match. I think it's actually going to affect Kageyama more, because he's going up against his old teammates, essentially, when all that drama went down. And I think during the match it might actually get to him, because playing against his old teammates, you know, I think it'll probably spark that kind of feeling again of being so disheartened. So yeah, we'll have to see what happens there. They might have to sub Kageyama out actually and put Sugawara in. It'd be nice to see Sugawara actually play some, because I haven't really seen him do anything yet. He's been on the sidelines. So yeah, I think that's all we really talk about. So we should probably get into the video, shall we, of episode 6. Let's go. Well, I think the final set will be a setter versus setter. Set. How many times can you say set? Yeah, so I think it'll probably come down to who's the better setter kind of thing, right? That's what this will be. So yeah, I think Seijo won the first set, right? And then obviously Karasuno won that set. So it all comes down to this last one. Yeah, so the crow imagery, I really like that. I like the imagery that they have in this show. It's really cool and fluid, and I really like it. So yeah, the crow imagery is Karasuno. They're known as the crows, right? I originally thought it was Little Giants imagery, but no, it's actually Karasuno's imagery. So yeah, we had fucking we had Hinata and the turnip guy, who both had the exact same thoughts about Kageyama, except one thinks that he's amazing and the other one thinks that he's not. Because one can actually spike his ball and his toss, and the other one couldn't. So yeah, that's interesting. It's you know what I mean, Kageyama hasn't necessarily changed his personality, but Shoyo is the only one that can actually bring out that style of play, because you know, he's the only one that has fast enough reflexes to actually get there. I wasn't actually expecting Hinata to collapse in this match. I thought he was just going to get over it as soon as the match started. So the fact that he actually did start, you know, costing the team a bit was a surprise to me. But he did get back into it. His nerves ended up being settled. What I thought originally was going to be you know, when he hit Kageyama in the back of the head with a ball, I thought maybe, you know, that's what would end up settling him, because I don't know, it would be something a bit on the funny side to him. So it was oh, I feel like a weight's been lifted. But at the end, it was actually Tanaka that did it. And here's the thing: I think Tanaka is like the most useful for that, because, like Daichi said, there's no ulterior motive. Like, in his head, he's just being real. You know what I mean? And while he's not the most intelligent, you know what I mean, he says the right things at the right time, and I think he's the most passionate because of that. You know what I mean? He lays everything out on, like, you know what I mean, out front, so that everyone knows exactly what's going on. I think that really helps, especially with a team. So yeah, I really like Tanaka for that. And yeah, like I completely understand what Hinata is talking about, or like his experience finally being with a team, because when I was younger, I used to play football, or soccer for Americans, for a team, and for a while, I think I played for them for about 5 years, and the first 3 years, I was top goal scorer. I scored the most goals in the season, so I got trophies, you know, for being the top goal scorer. I always pride myself on being two things: fast and being able to find the net. So, you know, I considered myself like sort of like Kageyama in that regard. Like, you know, we were in lower divisions. Like, we were in like Division 4. So obviously Division 1 being the top, we were like in Division 4. You know what I mean? And, you know, so we didn't have the greatest team like around us. Oh, sorry, around me. Like that. Like, that's all I could really think of. Like, I could score a lot of goals, but like, you know, there was like holes in like our defense and things, and like sometimes when they'd get through, it would really get to me, and it would annoy me. You know what I mean? Because then I would just have to do better and score more goals just to try and outscore the opponent, as opposed to like try and keep like balls out of our own net. It just became a match where I needed to outscore the opponent, and that's what it became for like 3 seasons. And then it sort of changed after that. The final 2 like seasons I was there, it kind of became, the feeling was different. Like, you know what I mean? There was an essence of like team around us, and it was less like about what I was doing and more about like how we worked together as a team. And we actually got promoted that season, and we actually went up to Division 3. And I was actually scouted to go to a Division 1 team, and I never went. You know, I just felt kind of at home with the team that I was in, so I just stayed there. And that kind of, if you've ever been in like a team like that, where you kind of have that feeling, you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. But unless you haven't had that feeling, you'll not really understand. Because I can't really explain it to you, but it is like a really like nice feeling. Like, you feel like you can, you know what I mean, you can count on your other teammates. You know what I mean, and by doing that, you know what I mean, it brings out the best in you. So like, while originally on the outside you'd think, oh no, I just need to focus on what I'm doing. As long as I'm doing great, then that means that you know what I mean, that means that I'm doing the best I can, and surely we'll just hope that everyone else does it. Like, everyone else on the team does their best as well, but you can't really do that. You need to give 100%, but you need to do it for your team, and you not do it for yourself. Because if you're doing it for yourself, then your team suffers. If you're doing it for the team, then your team automatically just gets to the next level and rises up and starts being better. So yeah, it's an interesting thing, and I actually do get exactly what Hinata is all about. You know what I mean? That whole idea of the first match that you played in the first tournament, where these teammates weren't up to scratch, but Hinata wasn't playing for the team then. He was just playing for himself, because you know, they weren't, like, his teammates weren't part of the volleyball team. They just came along to help him out. So Hinata thought that, he needs to take this all on himself, which is exactly what I was feeling. Like, first 3 years I was actually playing for the team, and then as soon as he comes into Karasuno and he's playing this match, it's like me in the last 2 seasons I was playing for my football team. You know, that transition is exactly the same as mine. So I really feel, you know what I mean, like a connection here with Hinata, which is great. So yeah, and yeah, Tsukishima can actually spike. I was not expecting that. Like, that just came out of nowhere. But it furthers that idea that, you know, that Kageyama is no longer tossing the ball and hoping that somebody gets there. He is slowing his pace down to suit the person that he is that is spiking his toss. So essentially anybody can anybody on the team can spike his tosses now. So, you know what I mean, that's the reason why Kageyama's the most interesting to me, because he's literally the one controlling their entire team. And he made the point in, I think it was episode 2, where he said the setter is the coolest because he dictates the play. Yeah, the spiker can get the points and all of that stuff, and the blockers can, you know what I mean, defend, and they're all important, but the setter is really the heart of that team.